everybody, and welcome back to the Mind Over Madness podcast. And I am joined with, Sean, the wonderful Sean, as always, which is
Yes,
always good. How are you? How are
uh,
things?
I'm good. Things are all right. Yeah, I'm happy to be here today because every other plan has fucking fallen through. Uh,
Ah,
uh,
it
yes,
happens. We
yeah,
have our days where it just doesn't go to plan. Nothing works.
yeah,
I've had a lot
yeah.
of
But we
them.
always have to look on the bright side. I mean, we're doing this, so
There's always a plus somewhere.
yeah.
No matter how hard you try to find the negative, there is always a positive to go with it.
Focus on the things you can control and not the things you cannot. Oh.
Yes, true that.
So
What
how are you doing?
beverage? I was going to ask what beverage you have, but I can answer this. Do you have a beverage?
Yes, I have a peppermint. I would say it's tea, but I don't think it's tea. It's just peppermint flavored water.
Water. I
It's
have
hot
some
and it's nice.
a,
We'll just say peppermint tea for the ease of it.
a tea,
So,
a green tea.
uh, no,
No, just
just
peppermint.
peppermint.
Just a peppermint tea. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I've
That's pretty
got
good.
my pepper pen.
Pepper pen.
Pepper pen.
It's like Peppa Pig, right? But yes, how am I? I'm doing okay. Been a pretty good week. It's the first time I'm back in this house for a while, so that's nice. um, yeah,
All over the place.
yeah. Well, sort of, yeah. Because I technically don't reside in this residence anymore. So, but I am back here because I'm looking after the place for a couple of days,
So
which is pleasant. So yes,
you have the run of the house for a bit.
yeah, for a little bit. Other than that, not been a pretty good week. Did some maintenance work on the flat. Had to fix like all the skirting on the kitchen and stuff. I felt like an adult. It was very strange.
Yeah.
I had to
Going
go,
shopping,
I had
that's
to
what
go.
it is.
Yeah, I had to go shopping for groceries. I was like, wow, I have had to force myself to grow up.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it's been good. I've enjoyed it. I definitely enjoy the freedom of living alone and stuff like that. I can't grumble. But yes.
I just looked out the window, but where the fuck's my car gone? It's still there, but I parked it.
Your car just sprouted legs and just fucked off. It was like, nah, I'm out, man. I can't do this anymore. You don't drive me enough.
I was supposed to drive you today, Betty, but things got in the way.
Betty? That is what the car is called. Betty.
She's got a different name every week.
Oh, fair.
Yeah,
Well,
it's whatever
makes
I
it
feel like.
interesting. So you're feeling a little Betty today.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's fair enough.
Well,
But yes.
so, people
So
who are new to the podcast,
yes.
we have a little schedule we follow
Hmm.
every week. It's a very, very loose schedule, but we talk about a bit of
Very.
news things first, and then we move on to gaming and films, and then we talk about a bit of interesting things we may have come up with or
Yeah.
want to ask each other or ask you guys or whatever.
Yes, little
So-
random topics.
That is our loose schedule. We're loose men.
Yeah, we're loose men. I'm very loose.
No.
just flaps. That's all it is.
Doing our pelvic floors, we're
Yes, you just
trying to tighten the looseness.
thrust. just have the pelvic thrusts, and that is it. You'll be loose enough for the rest of your life. You'll be all good.
But now that we're all loose, shall we move on to the news?
Now our lips are all loose. We shall move on to the first part. No, there. The first part. The news. There's a lot. A lot has happened.
Glad you've got a lot there.
Well, I grabbed a few things. Yes. Ha! Innuendos. Sorry. Please continue, Sean. What have you got?
Obviously, there's a local election this
Yes.
past week, which somehow snuck up on me because I actually didn't realise it was happening until the day of. And something that really annoyed me was the fact that we signed up for the postal vote thing, and we only actually got the thing through on the day. So I'm hoping it still count when I've sent them off. But
Yeah.
if they don't, well, that's right.
I
The
think-
postman took away my democracy.
I
I complain.
think they still count as long as they sent it on the day, I believe.
Yes, I don't know.
I don't know.
Usually
And-
there's like a grace period for postal votes. So.
Yeah. I think they're still counting votes as well, even though like the majority of stuff has been done now.
Yeah. Well, when the majority are in and there's like no way it can swing the other way, then I suppose it doesn't really matter if you put your votes there in the post.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
Yes.
so it seems like another. I don't know. Labour aren't doing as well as they hoped for.
Yeah, well, it's very interesting. It's an interesting situation because what I found is that Wales and England are like the polar opposites. Wales is heavy Labour, whereas England is super conservative. Like Wales is still a majority Labour. They still have all the seats and everything. I
Got
do.
Mark Drakeford, who's Labour, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still gonna. Well, as the way the votes have gone, he is still going to be the first minister for the next 5 years. Which I'm not dreadful, like I'm not terribly against, but he seriously needs to improve on certain things, especially when it comes to sort of elderly care and things like that. There are so many holes in that area, and he just won't address them. It's very infuriating.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but yeah, England was an interesting one because there was a big change in Labour votes and stuff, wasn't there? There was that area. What was it called? Hertfordshire? No, it wasn't Hertfordshire.
Hartlepool, was it?
Yeah, I think so. Hartlepool. They switched. It's now a Conservative area, not a Labour one. Even though for the last 10 years they voted Labour. So
Yeah, it's an
that's
odd one because what people predict and what actually happens just seems to be opposites all the time. But
yeah.
what difference it will make, we do not know.
Well, we know Boris is still going to be in charge for a bit.
Yeah,
So, although I don't think these votes affected like Boris's
no,
standing, but I do know that it does have an impact, obviously, on kind of the
Parliament.
seats, the majority, Parliament, yeah, all that
Yeah,
stuff. So, obviously, Conservative getting more powerful. I mean, I think I've aired my opinion on on the Conservatives over the last year on this podcast quite well.
yeah,
Um, Probably
yeah.
not the most polite way, but they're wankers. So, but I mean, clearly they're doing something right to get an entirely Labour area to switch in 180. That and not by a small margin apparently either. There was like quite a significant drop in like Labour voting for that area. It wasn't like they just took it. I don't think anyway. I
Yeah.
could be wrong, but
People, I don't know. Maybe it's just like people appealing to younger voters, or people like me didn't actually realize anything was happening.
yeah,
uh,
it happened.
um, but yeah, I don't know about it. It's hopefully when the general election comes, people will,
Three
show
more
their
years.
true feelings then. But
Yeah, 3 more years. But
I'm not sure. Yeah, sorry, go on.
no, go on, go on. I interrupted you. I apologize.
Not sure how much people will like. Probably less turnout of votes with these local elections than with general ones. Because I know because we live in a on the border of two, we like get some things from like Merseyside and Liverpool area, and we're like, how the hell does that affect us? Because we do everything in the Manchester area. But so yeah, I think there might be less turnout for like these kind of votes than the general elections. I was going to say.
Yeah. It's a I don't know. I mean, I think the reason Labour lost that entire area and they've been doing so bad is because, let's face it, since Keir's been in charge, there's just been problem after problem after problem. You had the fucking Corbyn situation. There was an entire area of Labour that got switched around and changed because Keir was like, nah, fuck you. So
Mm,
I think Keir said something along the lines of that he feels like he takes responsibility for it all, but he feels like it's because they're not talking to the people anymore. They're just kind of
yeah,
focused on their party so much over the last year that they've kind of neglected the actual people, even though they are the people's party.
yeah.
So I don't know. Rough. It's
It's like, oh yeah, we need to focus more on the people. Uh, yeah,
yeah,
well, that should be what it's all about, like all the time anyway. But
yeah. But yeah,
represent us.
it's funny how different Wales and England apparently are. But
Yeah,
which is surprising to me because I've never really spoken to anyone from England who has very different opinions on stuff compared to me, and if they do, they're still more towards Labour than they are anything.
Mm,
But I don't
yeah.
know. Maybe that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
It's because we've got a lot of posh people in England.
Yeah, you go to Wales, lucky to find anyone who's posh,
Yeah,
unless they're from England. They come to Wales, so you know.
yeah.
No offense.
Yeah. Anyway, any other
Yeah.
news we should mention?
Well, I'm going to touch on a little bit of coronavirus stuff. We don't tend to talk about this too much anymore since it's been going on for so long. But obviously, the Indian variant, the third version of the Indian variant, the most recent one, of course. Boris Johnson quoted in saying it needs to be handled carefully.
Okay.
Boris Johnson has about as much subtlety as a sledgehammer through a glass panel. So I don't know how the hell he's going to handle it carefully. But according to Boris, more tests are being conducted on it, and they're trying to basically find a way to get on top of it. He didn't really comment on anything in regards to is it more deadly. It's definitely more contagious, so it can spread quicker and that sort of stuff. But I think at this point, with all the vaccinations and stuff, it shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
But
For our country, anyway, it's terrible what's happening over in India with the hospitals overwhelmed and all this shit.
Well, I think they've just kind of given up. They're just burning them in the streets at this point. Which I get, I understand. Like, especially if you're massively overwhelmed, you don't really have. It's as undignified as it may seem. they can't do much more. But it's just bad handling from the
putting government. So much pressure on like an already weak system that wasn't prepared for this. Even though they've had a year, well, obviously they're not at the same level of development as like our country and stuff. But yeah. It's deafening.
I must admit, although I don't like how the UK government have handled the pandemic. I think we are in the majority of the lucky people. As horrifying as that is to say, with the amount of deaths and cases that have happened in the UK, I think we are amongst the luckier end of the spectrum compared to other countries. I know, like most of Europe, most of the EU had really bad fucking second waves to the point where they had, or third waves, where they had like a third lockdown, which Boris is trying to avoid. Go.
I have an interesting little tidbits to ask you here. Like, obviously our vaccine program is going well. Do you think we should kind of pause that and send all our vaccine stock to India, or like let them keep whatever is being produced there rather than finishing ours off first? Because would that be the human thing to do, or do you think we should just let ours carry on as it is and then help India out?
Because I know there's been a lot of debate around this, because if you look at any part of the news, like a lot of the PMQs that have happened as well, Boris has been questioned on whether or not he's doing the right thing by assisting India so much, considering that another wave is guaranteed to break out here at some point. It's a tough one. I don't know. I think it's such an impossible question. It's an impossible situation. I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's like no matter which avenue you go down, there is a big negative. I do think that we should help them though, because I feel like in the UK, all of the at-risk people supposedly have, I think something like 92% or something ridiculous have been fully vaccinated, so they are safe from coronavirus. So I don't think there's a problem in helping them. I think that's definitely the right thing to do. It's the human thing to do. How much help? I think that's the big question, isn't it? Because I know vaccines are still being struggled to be made because of a lack of resources. So it's like if we send so much over there and then a third wave breaks out over here and we have nothing to help over here, or it gets to the point, because I know, wasn't it said that in the UK now that under 40s there is another alternative coming compared to AstraZeneca for under 40s, but wasn't it something like they're now trying to push so that anyone can have the vaccine in the UK? How are we going to do that if we're having to help out India as well? But
I feel like young people have been waiting for so long for this vaccine and the spirit of it all. I think any more delays are going to be a bit annoying.
I think,
but obviously, live with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've not had my vaccine. I'm still fucking waiting.
Yeah.
But I get that. I understand why I'm still waiting. I'm not bitching or complaining about it. But considering on the 17th of May, so 10 days, give or take, the country's going to be open again. Wales is going to be completely open, except for, I think, social distancing is still going to be a thing, and obviously masks. But that's it. Everything will be open again. Movie theatres, drive-thrus, restaurants, pubs, cafes, everything can open back up 100%. And I think if we provide, I definitely think we should help India, but it's just how much. And obviously, as the public, we don't see the behind the scenes of how many we can send, how many we can't. So it's just kind of going off and trusting the most untrustworthy government to do the right thing. But I think it's an impossible dilemma. What about you? What do you think? Do you think we should be helping them?
I think we should definitely be helping them. I feel like a good compromise would be to like delay the second jabs for a lot of people here, like maybe make an age cutoff point, like over 50s or something. Maybe their second jabs could be delayed a little bit longer so they can get through the rest of the population quicker with the first vaccine, and then kind of mix and match, help India out even more, and work on the second jabs for people. I think that could be a compromise I'd be happy with. But yeah, I feel like we were in a position where we made the good choice to like order all these vaccines first, like not knowing whether it's going to be safe or not. Like, so I feel like we're in a capitalist kind of country. We should be kind of embracing the fact that we have them and we should be using them before helping everyone else. But yeah, we need to do the humanitarian thing and help out India as well as like a primary priority, but also help ourselves as well. Because as long as like everyone's safe in this country, then well, obviously there's not going to be a complete safety, but like no one's safe till everyone's safe. They say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
I think that's fair.
It's a balancing act, though, isn't it? So
yeah,
I don't know the answers.
It's why we're not politicians.
Yeah. We just give our intellectual opinions.
Well, you give an intellectual opinion. I give frustrated and annoyed opinion.
Hey,
probably not as intellectual.
People have come to you and said you sound intellectual. So
yeah, I don't believe it for a second. I've been having conversations with people who are like, James, you're so intellectual and knowledgeable on this. I'm like, no, I just spout bullshit until people don't argue with me.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Learn from the best people.
Exactly.
Nah.
I learn from the best. But yes. Well, that was an interesting one.
I noticed that Germany actually approved the Oxford vaccine. An interesting contrast here for all adults, whereas we've now kind of said everyone under 40 should be offered an alternative to Oxford with this whole blood clot thing. So on the same day they announced that. Germany's like,
it's fucking so stupid.
I know. It's such a minimal risk to be delaying this.
I do. So a key component in any kind of vaccine, for those of you who are not aware, is there is aluminum in vaccines and stuff. Not a huge amount. Just it's a way they make the artificial kind of side of it, and that's apparently what people think are causing the blood clots. And this is just coming from people, not scientists. So again, it's not like it's actual scientific fact, but they think it's because of the heavy concentration of aluminum in AstraZeneca, which I don't know. It is something risky because aluminum doesn't break down in your body; it just sits in your brain, and it can lessen your life, but not by such a significant margin. Otherwise, why would they do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not knowledgeable on that subject, so I'm not going to comment too much on it because I don't want to put anything false out there. But yeah, definitely something to look up and look into, I guess.
Let the scientists do their thing, and just take a vaccine if it's offered to you. It wouldn't be offered to you if it wasn't safe.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. If you need one, fucking get it. But yes, shocking news. I actually have shocking news, which is completely off the government and everything else. It's just everyday person news. It's not pleasant. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, I ran
things out.
the best things. Wait till you hear this one. I think you might regret saying the best. So I randomly came across this while I was looking for news stories, which is alcohol deaths are the highest in 20 years for England and Wales. Over 7,423 people died due to alcohol, which is a 20% increase from 2019. So this was last year's results, right? Obviously, a lot of people probably passed away because of lockdown, and obviously people who were going to AA meetings couldn't go to them anymore, so it was like relapsing and stuff. Do you think, my question is this, do you think that is a failure on the government's part to be able to help people who are in these situations, or do you think it's just an unfortunate byproduct of a pandemic that could never have been controlled?
Yeah, the second one.
It was just an inevitable, unfortunate, horrible part of...
At the end of the day, like, all services were kind of grinding to a halt, like for mental health and anything like that. So it's like with a heavy heart that these things are going to relapse. People are going to go back to old habits because it's a a horribly depressing time for a lot of people, especially until you can't see people. So it's not surprising that that kind of stuff will happen.
Yeah.
I saw this stupid headline where it's like, deaths at home increased last year, whereas deaths in hospital, not due to COVID, decreased. Like, well, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, because no, you wouldn't admit it without COVID.
Yeah.
So yeah, and there's all that thing about people being scared to go to hospitals and stuff.
Yeah.
Because they thought the NHS wasn't open, which is like the unsaid thing was it's only open to people with COVID, but you know they were actually saying we're open as normal, which they should have really emphasised a lot earlier in the pandemic. But then again, when people are actually trying to get through, they're like, oh no, you know, that's not serious, not priority. Yeah. So it's a very confusing thing. Like they're trying to cover their backs and you know, whatever.
I think it's a tragedy, but at the same time, it's no bigger of a tragedy than anything else that happened last year. Yeah, it's an as you say, you know, as you chose, you know, like the second option. It's just an unfortunate byproduct. It was impossible to help everyone in that situation, and fucking hell, I had my issues with alcohol nearly come back last year. I was drinking a lot and whatever, and that could have been another disaster, but it was not. I was one of the fortunate ones, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's a shit thing, but it happened. And I'm not, and like you say, there's been a lot of stupid headlines, I think, that have come up, and a lot of the stuff that the media is trying to report on, it just comes across very fucking stupid and ignorant.
Like, yeah.
It's like, obviously, there was not as many deaths in hospital due to unrelated illnesses other than COVID. Fuck, are you a moron?
I know. That was like one of the like leading newspapers as well. Like, slow news day, huh?
They're even more fucking stupid.
Yeah.
The Sun used to portray women in page 3, and that was how they sold newspapers. No, I didn't used to buy them.
I did.
I couldn't. At the time, I was not old enough.
Click through in the shop. That's the way you're going wrong.
That's where you're going wrong. You always buy the Sun. That is where you're going wrong.
That might be odds of it.
Yes, that's how I use newspapers. Oh, yes, other than that, and chips. When they used to get like bags of chips, and you just have newspaper wrappings.
Or when you're painting and you need something to like, you know, lay the floor.
Yeah. Oh God, Quest didn't even think of that.
They're great.
They're great. All right then. Have you got any more for the news?
No.
Ah, there we are then. We shall swiftly move ahead.
Things shall proceed as foreseen.
Yes, on to the films and the movies. They're the same thing.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, so one that I have been watching, I was watching a bit earlier today, is Line of Duty. I'm only on season 1. It's been all over the news and whatever. Everyone's talking about it, so I thought, well, you know, I might as well give it a shot, see if it's actually quite good.
Yeah.
And I'm quite enjoying the first few episodes of the season. Yeah, it's got, usually with British crime dramas, I'm a bit like, oh, Ron stole a pack of sweets. What on earth can we do about this?
What a dick. Ron is an asshole.
It's got its like kind of more grisly moments, and it's always a win with me.
Yeah.
It's a lot about police corruption and stuff rather than the actual crimes. And yeah, so I'm quite enjoying that aspect of it, and it's well acted and yeah. It's cool. Well done, BBC.
One thing you did right, BBC. Out of the thousands you do wrong every day.
Now, please bring your iPlayer app to the PS5, then I can watch it, not on TV.
Please don't. Arseholes are trying to get fucking TV licenses for a TV I paid for. Get fucked.
Yeah.
Do you pay your TV license, James? No. No, I fucking don't. You can fuck off. Sorry, rant over.
When the TV license people are like on, you know.
They can't do shit. They can't legally go in your house unless you invite them in, so
yeah,
you can never prove it.
Exactly. Well, we could talk about that in the interesting things.
No, yes, definitely. Maybe we will. Maybe that is one of the topics. Who knows? What else have you been watching?
Well, you know, a little birdie introduced me to RuPaul's.
You are welcome. I bit me fucking
Don't
lips.
choke on it.
Yeah.
It's not something that was on my radar, but I watched an episode, we shall say, and a bit,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
quite enjoyed. It's quite comical. What I saw, I was quite, enjoying it.
I remember you. I distinctly remember the quote of, "Huh, I feel like I might get into this watching it with you." Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
but
Definitely.
yeah, enjoyment.
Yes,
Very good.
it's one of those ones I think that you can just sort of sit back and chill out and watch with a friend. It's not like you have to focus hard on it. You just get to laugh and comment on which ones you fancy.
Yeah.
Which is what
You're
we...
nowhere than looking at the sun there.
Exactly. But yes.
Yeah, what have you been watching?
Well, yeah, RuPaul's Drag Race. I watched a little bit of that
Oh,
with
you
you.
got
We obviously we did watch. I think we are getting through season 2 of Lost.
Yeah.
I unfortunately don't have my PlayStation here with me, so we can't watch any until I go back tomorrow. But
Yeah.
we will definitely watch some more soon. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what happens. That's getting more and more interesting with every episode. You were right. Season 2 just clings on. Once.
Yeah, I really love watching that thing, especially showing people how good it is.
There's nothing like showing a show to someone who's never seen it before, and it's just enjoyment.
Yeah, I mean that's why I got into watching people streaming stuff, because I'd already played the games, and I was like, I want to watch people enjoy it like I did.
Yeah.
That's one of my main reasons for starting to watch it. Yeah. Watch people on streams and stuff like that. Subconsciously, like show people things that I like as well. Yeah.
It's a good thing. Yeah, I've been watching a hell of a lot of Hell's Kitchen, like Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen. I started watching it because they were all on Prime. So I was sitting there one day and I was thinking, I don't have anything to watch right now. I'm not in the mood for anything. What could I watch that's just hilarious and binge worthy? Hell's Kitchen. So I came across it again. I watched through. I think I've watched through 4 seasons in the last week,
Yeah.
Just one after another.
Yeah, I'm binge worthy. Yeah.
They are just one of the.
Drama.
There's something about Ramsay screaming at people that I just love. It's just funny.
It's so American as well. Like, are you watching American series?
Yeah, it's the US.
Yeah, they're so much better and more dramatic.
Yeah, I think there's a reason for that. Americans love drama.
Yeah.
Generalization, but yeah, no, they're very enjoyable, very fun. Brought me back actually, because I used to watch them a lot when I was like 18, 17, that kind of age.
Yeah.
And I was watching one of the series. I think it was like series 13 and 14. And I remember watching them when they were coming out like live every week, and I was just like sitting there thinking, I'm officially getting there. I'm nearly at that age where I'll be like, oh, I remember that when I was a child.
The amount of like over exaggerated sound effects and visual effects. Cliffhanger. Boom, boom.
Yeah. Dramatic music for a cooking show, essentially.
It's raw.
It's fucking raw. You. Fuck off!
Yeah.
Get out!
Don't talk to me like that, madam. Get out!
Hey, you! Come here, you fucking donkey! I love him.
Excuse me, ma'am. Fuck you!
Fuck me. How about you? Yeah, fuck you. How about this? Fuck off! I don't know. It's just a way of getting your anger out just through Ramsay.
Yeah, definitely.
Works very well. The other thing that I've got written down is American Murder: The Family Next Door on Netflix, which was about that. What's his name? I think his name was Chris. He ended up killing his wife and his 2 children, and he chucked them in the tank.
Oh yeah. Oh,
fucking the fact that man went on TV.
Chris Watts, was it?
Yeah, that's the one, Chris Watts, the guy that went on. He went on TV and was like, "Please bring them home, you piece of scum." And then to top it all off, when he finally like came out and was starting to admit it, oh, she hurt the kids. Oh, you little fucker. Just
because he wanted to start afresh with someone, a woman.
Oh, just fucking leave if you're not happy.
I know.
Ramsay should have taught him, just fuck off.
Who the fuck can murder their wife and then murder two little girls, like, defenseless?
What shocked me was like how he described the night it happened. So I feel bad. It's such an annoying circumstance because I didn't remember any of the names, but obviously more people remember his name compared to the wife.
Shannon.
Shannon, yes, that's the one. So when Shannon came home, she came home after like a weekend away with a friend or something, and it the way he describes it is so like disturbing and disconnected. He was just like, yeah, we had sex that night, and then when we woke up in the morning, I told her that I wanted to leave, and she said she was going to take the kids, so I just put my hands around her neck, and it was like he just matter of fact said it, and it's like, oh, Jesus. And then he was like, yeah, one of the kids came in and saw that she was face down on the bed, so I just dealt with her too.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Like, it's, I don't know, what the fuck? Like, he just because he wanted to bang some younger woman, like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Just
mean, like,
leave.
fair enough, your relationship's going to shit, but you don't deal with it like that. Like, fucking hell, you must be a psychopath just, like, in hiding for all your life if you're willing to do that.
And what I don't get as well, and I know this happens a lot in relationships with kids, is when one part of one side goes, well, you're not going to see the kids anymore. It's not going to happen. If it goes to court, you will see the children as well. Why the fuck do you take it so literally? Like,
and the fact that Shannon was pregnant as well at the time.
Oh yeah,
even worse.
Oh, it's so sad.
I know.
And like seeing her family there, and like how he just sat there, looked forward, shaking his leg the entire time in court. Like, oh, what a fucking scumbag.
Yeah.
Did he get a death penalty? No, I think he just got life. No. He got life in prison, I think.
And he's getting lots of love letters from people because they find him really hot. And yeah, he's enjoying the attention, and he's enjoying being able to work out a lot as well.
Yeah, well, it's because he was fat and then he got skinny, muscly, and he's like, I'm so sexy.
Mm-hmm.
You're also a psychotic cunt. Like, yeah, it's I don't know. It was a very disturbing documentary, but I'm disgusting. I was going to call myself a psychopath, but I'm disgusting. I like watching them.
They are really interesting.
I find them fascinating and learning about every little bit. I think we've talked about it before. I like learning about every little intricate detail about everything.
Yeah, I guess the thing that makes it interesting is the fact that he's not really. He didn't kill animals when he was little. He's not like someone who's known for crime and stuff. He's just like snaps kind of overnight.
He was like a genuinely lovely person.
You've seen him in the videos. You could tell that maybe everything wasn't perfect, but you wouldn't be able to tell with your naked eye that he was. No. I don't even think he knew what he was going to do.
No, I think that's the thing with it. I think that's what made it so scary. Is like it just came out of nowhere. Instead of just leaving, he killed her. Like,
and he also must be stupid as well.
Yeah, he described it as being easier to do that rather than do something else, and it's like, what? How?
And with how little care he went about it as well. Jesus.
Yeah. And the fact that I still can't get over the fact he went on TV and was like, yeah, please bring them home. It's like, you know where they are. You know they can't come home.
Yeah, it's in that time where I suppose like there's a lot of kind of kids going missing and stuff, and it was like a big media thing that parents have to go on TV and they have to go start crying and tell them to come back.
Well, I mean, when it was reported that she wasn't answering the door by a friend, Shannon's friend reported it to police, and the policeman turned up at the house, and then Chris turns up, and you see the body cam footage, and when they go next door to talk to the neighbour, even the neighbour said something's not right with him. He's acting all antsy on edge. That's not him at all.
Because he didn't realise that the security footage was actually there. It's like, shit.
The police were waiting outside, and he was just like turned up, and he was all frazzled and stuff, and you could tell something was off. But, and I think the police officer said it best. He turned to the guy and was like, how would you react if you just found out your wife and kids are gone? And it's like, that's what's so scary about it, is he was going down that avenue, and actually, that guy was right. There was something more to it, so, I don't know.
It is like that balance of like someone like acting suspicious, or Captain Hindsight tells you that he's acting this way, but no one knows how they react in that situation. But of course, he did know what was happening and how wrong he was. But he's behind bars now. But unfortunately, he can't get back the life that he took. So
which the lives that he took. But there we are. But that's it. I haven't got anything else on my watch list.
Yeah, me neither.
What a sad, sad state of affairs to end that on. But
uh, yeah.
moving on to games and
Yeah.
interesting game news, if we have any.
Uh,
So,
yeah. I'm
what you
trying to
got?
figure out which one's the best to start with.
Ooh,
So Resident Evil
choice.
Village has come out now.
Yeah,
Um,
seen a lot of
it
good
looks
stuff.
pretty interesting. Yeah, I've heard some good things about it.
Mm,
I haven't got it myself. I was looking at reviews and just
mm.
seeing people play the first chapter or so. It seems really good. I want it now.
Yeah, I'm not paying full price for it. Fuck
Oh God, no.
that. Like, I'll wait.
I
I'll
still
wait.
haven't actually fully played the Resident Evil 7. I played a little bit of it in VR over at a friend's house, and that's scarred me for life. So I need to continue to play that.
Yeah.
um,
Well.
so yeah, have you heard anything about this game? Do you want it yourself?
I mean, I've played through Resident 7. I've seen all the DLCs. And it was awesome. And I am looking forward to playing RE8, but I think it's just the price that puts me off. It does look
Yeah,
very, very good though, and I like the little nod they did to Resident Evil 4 with the merchant.
yeah,
They had that one line of "What are you buying?" Sorry, that's just something my friend used to say, and it's like, oh, actually, that's really cool because I know they're
yeah,
working on a Resi 4 remake, because they're gonna remaster it and make it look pretty.
yeah. It's like
Which,
nice to have a continuation of the previous game. Like,
mm,
so it's like a little arc that you get with these characters, and previous characters from the other games coming back. And
yeah, it's definitely very
uh,
good. I'm looking forward to playing it.
yeah, I've seen some of the bosses as well. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And obviously, everyone's going on about the Mother Miranda and
Mm.
vampire cult. And,
Yeah.
wow.
Step on
Uh,
me, mummy.
yeah.
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, looking forward to seeing how it all unravels and
Mm.
how people digest it in the coming days
Yeah.
and weeks.
I think the only thing I have heard about it that's slightly negative is that how much certain aspects were built up about the game and they actually turn out to be very, very little parts of the game or not really anything at all. Um, so people said that it's kind of misleading with some of the stuff, but also the boss battles. I fear they're not as good as the Resi 7. But then again, I guess that comes down to subjective and kind of
Yeah,
what you like. So
it's like completely different like areas where like Resi 7 was kind of completely contained in a dark house.
yeah,
Uh, this one's more kind of open in a village, in a swamp, in a castle.
yeah,
So
more
more open.
interesting.
Yeah. I like the aesthetic of this one. I think better than the other
Yeah,
one, just dark house.
I
Uh,
agree. I can
Probably
agree.
less scary, which is probably why I like it.
I don't know. I feel like it's interesting how they've brought werewolves and vampires and ghosts and stuff into it now. It's not just like a zombie thing. It's more across the spectrum kind of thing, which I like. I like that, and they've done it very much in a way that works. I like this. The new, ever since they've done Resi 7, I've kind of wanted to see all Resident Evil games go first person. I think it's a new. It's like the old type of horror brought into first person, and it works really well. Um,
Yeah, because when I
so
was younger, Resident Evil was just zombies. It's like just zombies. But
yeah.
now it's like a lot more fleshed out than that, isn't it?
Oh, definitely, definitely, and it's a return to like the old fashioned horror, which works really well. I think a
Yeah,
lot of horror games that come out now go with those sort of shitty little tropes that just don't work anymore, and they're old and they're because being a huge fan of horror, it's hard to find a horror game that genuinely will put like anxiety and you're like sitting there like I genuinely don't want to do this. So
yeah,
um, yeah, I mean, I'm glad that they're going with it, and Capcom seem to be doing a good job with it. So hopefully they
yeah.
continue with that progress.
And we have needed the next gen horror game. Like hopefully this one can fill the void for a while. But
Yeah,
with all the haptics and things, you can imagine how much better they can make it. Like imagine if you just can't see anything that's happening on the screen, but you can just feel what's happening in your controller. Like something like that would be really cool.
if you get grabbed from behind and it's like, oh
Yeah,
fucking hell!
you have to kind of navigate your way through a dark room, like you just using the haptics or the whatever.
Oh,
Something like that. I've been obviously thinking of like things that you could do with the horror thing. It's like,
yeah.
you can do that.
Hopefully in the next few years they'll have stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see.
Um. Yeah. Sorry.
No.
You may mention a game that you've been playing.
Have you got any more, or are we kind of switching back and forth?
We're kind of switching back and forth.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to like just read off a bunch and you're like, James, hello. Yeah, no. The first one, ironically, first one I have written down is Stories Untold, which is like a horror game kind of. It's an interesting kind of 4 episodes long. It's not a very long game at all. I played it on PC. It is on consoles and stuff though. It's interesting. Definitely an interesting game. It's kind of like you type stuff in and have to like. I guess the best way to describe it would be very, very way back when they used to have games and you have to like type in what happens in the game, and then that's how you go off. So like a text-based game, but it's actually also in the like reality. So it's like a first-person game as well. Interesting take. Interesting take. And there was a lot of moments where it genuinely caught me off guard, and I was like, "Oh Jesus Christ! Okay, that's weird." It's a very good play on horror. It's not like super scary horror or anything, but it's definitely a very good game. And a lot of the time, it's very cheap now as well. It's like £2.
Oh, wow.
So I would absolutely say play that game. It's on PlayStation, so go and play it. It's absolutely worth it.
It's not the one on my radar. I'll have to have a look at it.
Yeah, definitely have a look at it, I would say. It's an interesting take, and it's old. I think it was back 2017. So it's old, but it's very good.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah,
unique.
Definitely. Oh, definitely unique. Yeah, no, 110%. You go,
Michael.
Michael.
I wanted to talk a little bit about Division 2.
Oh, okay. Yes, because I think I know what you're going to talk about. Go on.
Yeah, well, there's this whole like blog that's been put up about the future of Division franchise and what they're working on. So they're obviously going to be working on a Division 2 update for later in the year, like including a new mode or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. There is a Division 2 movie, or not Division 2, a Division movie coming out
on Netflix.
With Jake Gyllenhaal and all this.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, isn't it? Like which is pretty cool. I'll say it.
I love the world of Division, so I mean, I'll definitely watching that. I mean, not got massive hopes for it, but
yeah, that's why I'm just like, it's going to be a shitty action film. But I'll take it.
Yeah. There's going to be a free-to-play Division game set in the Division universe,
but
not many details about it.
Yeah. What's kind of your take on this? Because I know it's Red Storm that are working on it, and they did the multiplayer stuff, like the kind of Dark Zones.
I feel like it's going to be kind of very PvP based. Maybe if it's like the survival thing of the first game, then that would be an interesting mode for it. Because everyone was saying back then it should be free to play, and obviously they've listened to that.
Yeah. And
maybe are bringing that forward. So hopefully it's something around those lines, but I would like more PvE in it. Because that's like where our enjoyment of it comes from.
Definitely, yeah.
But yeah, so more people get it's a good, well-built engine, and more people should be experiencing that.
Yeah, Snowdrop. It is a very, very good engine.
Yeah, it's like really, it's buttery.
Butter smooth.
Butter smooth.
It's not better.
But so yeah, I mean, hopefully they might find a way to actually click with the audiences and monetize it in a way that isn't predatory.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. It's just going to be it's Ubisoft. They'll be filled with fucking shitty microtransactions.
Yeah, what other Ubisoft games are free to play?
There's quite a few actually.
There's one Battle Royale one, I think.
Yeah, Hypescape.
Yeah.
And another one as well, which I can't think of right now. Was it Hypescape? Might have been. I don't know.
I'm not sure how predatory they generally are with these free-to-play ones.
Pretty fucking predatory.
They are the predator.
But they are the fuckers. They're like EA. But yeah, no. And they have a novel, right? A novel that's coming before the film.
Yeah, I mean, they've had a few before the games, but I'm not sure about them. You're probably right, though. There is a novel.
Because I've been using Ubisoft Play a lot, because I've been playing Division 1 again on PC. You have to use Ubisoft Play to go back and play through it. And they had, like, the entire post was on there, and it's like a big roadmap of just stuff. So it's like they've got the next thing is the free to play Division game, and after that it's the Division 2, like sort of expansion, whatever the hell they're doing with it.
Little update.
Yeah, little
That'll
updates.
be the last one.
Yeah, they won't ever touch the game again then. And then I think it's like 3 little updates. Then I think more for Division 2, and then they had like the novel and the film. So
there's also a mobile app or something that I forgot.
yes, that's the one, the mobile game, which
Kind of mobile game.
I don't know.
Not
It's like they've just gone, stick our hands in every monetization source that we can, and let's see what sticks.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I like the lore, as you said. I'm very much in your camp of I love the lore of the Division. So I would love to see. I hope the film will focus more on lore than shitty action sequences.
Yeah.
But knowing Netflix, probably not.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know.
I'd love to see more franchises kind of expand their horizons into different media things. Like I think Destiny would make a good like anime TV show or something. Because the whole lore behind that is really interesting and big good books and things.
I'd go for that. I wouldn't be against that. I'd actually probably watch like a Destiny film or series.
Yeah.
I reckon it'd be an interesting way of doing it.
Because I think the popularity of these things then transcended just the game. Like people just sit down and play games for half an hour. Like people dedicate a lot of time to these things now, and they're really interested in the lore and the merchandise and stuff like that. So it'd be good to expand a bit more.
Definitely.
And a Fallout TV show, that'd be great.
Do you know what I've always said? Why the fuck haven't they done like Fallout films and Fallout series? Because they'd make a killing. That universe is fucking huge.
Exclusive to Xbox TV.
Yeah, they barely touched any of the world. Like, there's very few regions you've been to in Fallout, so you could make like an entire region just completely fucking go for it off your own thing, or take a region that's been done and make it into it. Like, so many opportunities. But I guess a lot of people would say it's selling out, and but those people are stupid.
And there's Naughty Dog focusing on the wrong things. Let's remake a remaster and remake it.
Why?
But there is also going to be a HBO Last of Us TV show as well.
Which I'm looking forward to.
I am, but I'm like, it's like a heavily story-based game. How can you really compete with that?
I've already accepted it's not even going to go anywhere near as good as the game. I've accepted this. I don't think it's possible for them to make it better, like for it to even be on par with the video game. It's just not going to happen. Is it going to be a bad series?
Filmic.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very much ingrained in a lot of people's happy memories from that game. So is it going to be as good as the game? No, absolutely not. But does that necessarily mean it's going to be bad? No. It's just going to be another way of telling the same, like the interesting story. Maybe they'll touch on things they couldn't touch on in the game, which would be cool.
Definitely, as long as it's different enough. Like I feel like I'll be approved rather than just like a carbon copy with just like someone else's Ellie, someone else's Joel, and no. That'll make people unhappy.
And as long as the actors get the fucking parts right, because if Joel or Ellie is even slightly off, it's just not gonna work.
Get Elliot Page on the job.
Yeah, I reckon she probably could pull it off. I know they've got the actors and actresses ready for it, and hopefully they'll do a good job. As far as I haven't looked at any of their other stuff, so who knows? We'll see.
I've only got like one more thing, so I might as well just copy that, and then you're free to go. Not go, but
Goodbye.
You get out here. You get out.
Gets up and leaves.
You're free to go now.
Good.
Wreckfest.
Oh yes.
Obviously, a while ago they mentioned something about a PS5 update, and it's going to be $10 to upgrade that. And I was like, oh, great! I've got PS4, so I don't want to pay £10.
Yeah.
You can upgrade it, but then it's PS Plus. So it's okay then.
Yeah.
So they released that, and it's the upgrade from 30 to 60 frames is like so much better. It's like this is how it should have been. Like it's one of those games where it is definitely noticeable. So a lot of people think you're kind of making up when you're saying how much of a big of a jump it is, but it definitely is a big jump for that game.
It's a very big jump, and it's a very good jump.
Yeah. And I finally figured out how to actually play online with other people, which is good. I haven't done it yet, but I will do it. We'll play that sometime.
Definitely.
But yeah, and you can't beat riding around on a sofa car with
Yeah.
what I think you upgraded it so that it's 24 players online rather than 16 or something. So it's utter carnage.
Yeah.
Uh,
I've only played a small amount of it, but
mm,
it is very fun. It's enjoyable, and I've only played it on the Xbox, so I've
yeah,
yet to
it's
play it
it's
on
for
PS.
people who don't know, demolition derby style racing
Mm.
game with lots of different vehicles and fun vehicles, which you probably wouldn't have thought of, including Portaloos as one of
Yeah.
the DLCs.
Good physics as well, like good braking and stuff on the vehicles and stuff. It looks really good.
Yeah, I don't actually suck at it as well, which is good.
Yeah, most racing games I'm trash at.
Yeah,
I just don't even try.
most of the kind of realistic kind of ones
Mm.
I'm crap at, but the arcadey ones are better.
Yeah, they're more fun.
Definitely. You may continue your game sessions.
Okay. Well, I've continued playing Yakuza Zero. That's just one I'm almost done with it. Finally, hallelujah! I'm like 110 hours in. I'm finally nearly done. Um, Another one was I went back and played Gary's mod for a bit. That was interesting. So for those of you
Okay.
not aware, like I played a few horror maps on that. That's fun. Believe it or not, that's the first thing I did on YouTube. Was on my old channel was horror maps on Gary's mod. So there you go.
Well,
You'll
yeah.
you'll never find them. Like they're gone. They don't exist anymore, sadly. I played a game called Tube Tycoon, which is like I'm sure most people have heard of it. It's like basically YouTube simulator. It's kind of fun, kind of just a time waster, nothing special. Balloons Tower Defense, Viscera Cleanup Detail, they're kind of fun games. Balloons is like again time waster tower defense game, but it's fun, it's enjoyable,
Yeah.
it's good. Viscera Cleanup is literally just being a cleaner, cleaning up a lot of shit.
Yeah, I've heard about
Blood.
that. Is it after like bloodbaths and stuff like that?
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting. It's fun. It's fun, but it takes a while if you're like a
Yeah.
perfectionist. And unfortunately, when it comes to cleaning in games and in real life, I'm a perfectionist. So it took me a long
Every last
time.
drop.
It took me 2 hours just to do the smallest map,
And
and that's considered slow, very
if
slow.
you've ever cleaned up blood, it is very hard to get every drop. Not that I've done a lot of that.
Yeah, a lot of bodies to
Yeah.
get rid of. Another one, ironically, another sort of cleaning, renovating simulator was train station renovation. I have a lot of renovating in simulator games that I play. I'm very old. Leave me alone. Not really. Just Jesus. But Far Cry 3, I've gone back and I've been playing through that again, which has been pretty cool.
Nice.
Old one. Like I said, Div 1. Emily is Away. Interesting. It's free to play on Steam. Emily is Away. It's old, but it's very good. I'm not going
That
to say
horrible.
anything about it. I won't say too much, but it's basically like a narrative game. There's no real like sort of gameplay as such to it, but I highly recommend anyone that used like MSN or anything like that, go back and play that. It's free to play. It's a free to play game on Steam. Go play it.
Yeah.
It's such a nostalgia trip.
Yeah. I
You will.
thought for some reason I thought you were talking about Emily wants to play it or something.
Oh, Emily Wants to Play. Yeah, that's like a horror game. That's kind of like you
Yeah.
have to try and survive the night and stuff. But
Uh,
Emily is Away. It's a free game
okay.
on Steam. I honestly, and you, Sean, go play it. Go play it. It's
Yeah, I
free.
used to do a lot of MSN. Yeah.
It takes 50 minutes to do the entire game. It's honestly, it's such a nostalgia trip. It's so good. And it will make you feel like a teenager with serious issues again. And when I say serious issues, that's the most sarcasm I could do. And then
Hey.
the only other game that I've been doing is Medal of Honor from 2010, the really unpopular one.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's really bad. It's a bad game, but it's my guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's about it. The only other thing I've got was obviously Returnal, the first official PlayStation 5 game
Yeah.
to come out, and I've seen mixed stuff. Some people have said it's really good and it's enjoyable. It's a good Souls-like. They've done a good job, but some people have complained about it like not being actual 4K. It's just 1080p
The
buffed
saving
up.
issue.
Yeah,
Mm.
the corrupted files and stuff from the recent patch. So it's a bit wobbly, but a lot of people have said mostly good things about it.
Yeah, it's that
Classic.
studio's like first AAA game, which is you can kind of let them off a little bit for some of the niggling details, but
Yeah,
Having like a save system that like can literally erase hours of your progress like this. So the basic things need to be in there before you ship out this £70 game.
Especially on a Souls-like. That
Yeah,
is
it
not a
can be
game you
just
want to lose
great.
progress on.
But it looks really beautiful and it looks really fun and fluid
Yeah.
and yeah, I look forward to playing it one day.
Yeah, one day.
No, one day
When it's free.
when it's free.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad people are enjoying it as the first next gen proper
Yeah.
game.
Although a lot of
Uh,
people are saying we won't probably get like an actual next gen game until like I don't know, 2023, probably more like 24.
Probably this is just like the maximum that the PS4 can handle, probably.
Yeah. So because they're still obviously selling these games as well, especially Resident Evil 8. That's also like another game that's still being sold backwards.
Yeah,
It's a PS4 game as well, so it's like everyone keeps saying, "Well, it's not a proper next gen game," and it's like, "Well, it can be."
like you
Just
can probably apply that to like games for the next fucking 5 years. It's not proper next
yeah,
gen.
it's like shit takes time, man. Shit takes time.
Yeah.
It doesn't just happen overnight. But yeah.
Apparently, Remnant from the Shadows is getting PS5 or like backwards
Oh,
compatibility plus patch where it goes to 60 frames. So I look forward to playing that again.
I am so glad that I haven't played it yet, and I'm going to wait for that patch.
I know. Oh, I wanted to play for it when it was 30 frames.
I can't do 30 frames anymore, mate. I've been playing on PC at 120 frames. That's like another fucking level.
Yeah.
So it's like 60 frames even now is like, this is slow.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
falling.
hopefully, I haven't reached that level.
I'm falling into the PC Master Race, Sean. It's happening.
No. Well, some people say that they can go from 120 to 30 and have no problems at all. So.
Yeah, I think I can go from 60 to 120. That's no problem, or 120 to 60. That's fine. But 30 frames now, I tend to get a little bit motion sick on,
Yeah.
which is not great considering, but it's not terrible either. It's not like the worst thing.
No. So yeah, I think that's it for my games and stuff. And
Yeah, I think that's it for my games and stuff as well. So on to our random things.
random thing.
Random things.
Collaboration.
Collaborator. Sorry. All right. Yes. Random things. The final part of the show where we have random topics and things that we talk about that we find interesting, and it's great. There we
Yeah.
are. So.
I have a bit of a light one this week, but
Ooh, all
I
right.
will talk about it anyway. Do we have any bad habits that we annoy ourselves for?
So wait. So bad habits that annoy ourselves.
Yeah.
Bite my
Or,
nails.
or partners or whatever.
I fucking bite my nails. It's the most irritating shit in the world. I'm trying to stop.
Yeah, same
Because
here.
I recently I've cut my nails properly and they're fine and I haven't bitten them and I'm like, this is the first time ever.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
the
I've eaten
worst.
more of myself than anyone ever has. The nails I've eaten. Yes.
Yeah, I used to. Yeah, that's like one of the worst probably habits that annoys me personally. I think other habits, cleanliness. Everyone gets annoyed by my cleanliness because it's so picky,
Yeah.
so picky. Like I'll spend hours just cleaning to make sure it's 100%. I'm the last person you'd think is like this, like the last person. But like Vic will come over and her hair, she molts like there is no tomorrow, and I'm cleaning her hair up for like a week after it. Fucking infuriates me. I'm just like, oh James, it's one hair. Get over yourself. I'm like, it's so annoying. Yeah, I
Yeah.
piss a lot of people off with my cleanliness.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, yeah, definitely same with the nails as well. Especially when you get like the skin at the side of them and it's like stings for like days. You're like, no.
Yes.
Another one that I've just like had from like since childhood is like my ability to like not actually look at what I'm talking to for ages, and it really annoys me because I focus on like, all right, I will look at this person when I'm talking to them,
Yes.
and then I end up getting really distracted and I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So, yeah. I wouldn't say I'm particularly self-conscious or like shy or stuff like that anymore.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things that you just stick with me. So
Yeah. It's a habit that's never
I'm
gone.
trying to improve it, but it's not going anywhere. The more I focus on it, and then
It's harder to break habits after a set time.
yeah,
It's ingrained.
yeah. So, But hopefully it's not too annoying to other people. So
It's never annoyed me. I'll be honest. I don't really notice it that much.
yeah, I try and improve it, especially with this. Although I do like look everywhere else.
It's you're lucky. I've got one really lazy eye, so it's only 50% of the time
Yeah.
I might notice.
Yeah.
You're good. But yeah, I mean, anything
Uh,
else?
well, I was going to pick up on the TV licensing thing.
Wait, you have no more habits. That's it.
uh, well, nail biting and then looking around everywhere when I'm talking to people. What else? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
But being late for things, I hate being late for things. I'll always be the early guy and like waiting in my car or something,
Yeah.
rather than being late. Yeah.
Fair. That's fair enough. Fair enough.
So I'm just perfect, you know.
Oh, narcissism. No. Of course, you are the furthest thing from a narcissist. Yeah. No, I think that's me as well. I think the only other thing I could say is myself, self confidence. Like I fucking hate looking at myself. So, but that's not really a bad habit. I guess that's more. I'm fucked. I'm clapped. But yeah, sorry.
One of those things anyone really likes looking at themselves, unless it's with like a massive lighting and setup with loads of makeup.
Yeah.
And the angle has to be right as well.
Yeah, I hate my.
You don't want to be looking from below. It's
Yeah,
never a good look.
every time, just.
No one takes selfies from below. But yeah.
Yeah. TV licensing.
TV licensing.
Mm.
I don't think I paid my TV license when I was in uni in like a top floor flat. Because basically, how the hell were they gonna actually know that? And like, we used to get letters and things, but you know, they cannot pinpoint that location. You know, nothing is that accurate back in that day, especially.
No.
Well,
They can't do anything. They can't prove it. It's like essentially the best thing I've ever heard, and it's the best piece of advice you can ever have is when you open the door. If they go, "Hiya, we're from your local TV licensing company," just close the door.
Yeah.
That's it. Close the door and walk away. It's fucking ridiculous. I will never ever, when I own my own place or if I'm renting a place, I will never ever pay a TV license. I don't give a fuck. You didn't pay for my TV, so get fucked. Simple as. I'm not paying you to own a TV. Get fuck off. You know, what a stupid fucking rule.
Especially with all the streaming services and things you've got to pay for now.
I don't watch BBC. I haven't watched BBC or normal television in like over 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So, you know, why would I fucking watch, like, pay you?
Half of it's crap.
I mean, maybe
The
the
news.
exception of Line of Duty, but, you know,
Yeah.
that's fine.
You've got to make something good then.
Somehow, yeah.
And you know, BBC News, you know, oh, Fiona Bruce. No.
I just watch it on YouTube.
You can just get the headlines like anywhere on the internet.
Exactly.
But and it like rips a lot of old people off, doesn't it?
Well, they
like,
changed the law recently, yeah. Now old people used to get their like the TV license. They didn't have to pay it after a certain like time. I think it was after you're 70. They changed it. Now you have to pay for it again, which is just fucking. And that's because the BBC don't have any money because they're all wankers.
Yeah, and you know you can guarantee the TV licensing guys will be knocking on those old people's doors and like you know getting them to admit stuff that
Fucking assholes.
they're not doing, and they're having to pay for it.
Fucking BBC are pricks. They just and I have a very strong hatred for the BBC. I have a family member that worked in the BBC, and yeah, the stories are not great. I'll just say that. I have to be very. That is actually one thing I have to be very careful on. I can't say certain things.
Yeah.
So I'll just say they're not great. And in my opinion, they can fucking jog on.
Yeah.
So, but there we are. That's just me.
But there are bad apples in every single establishment, which we will find.
But BBC is particularly shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done work experience there. It's things I've seen there are not great either.
Yeah. How do you get higher up in the chain? Allow me to demonstrate.
Well, yeah.
There you are.
That is filming the box anyway.
Yeah. Not a great work environment.
I don't think you're into that kind of thing. If you love it, then great. You're gonna go do really well.
If that's your hobby, you're going to have a wonderful time.
Yeah.
Not for me.
um, so yeah, any other interesting things?
The only one that I've got is, should online demand services be region locked? So obviously with stuff like Netflix and things like that, like China, the UK, the US, they all have slightly different Netflix archives. And obviously, if you see it in all these times in like these VPN advertisements and stuff, it's like, well, you could access this region.
Yeah,
Do we think that stuff should be region locked, or do we think that the entire catalog should just be available to wherever you live, kind of thing? Obviously,
yeah,
with China, it's different because they're a dictatorship. But you know,
yeah. Well, I suppose in an ideal world, you'd want everything to be
yeah, fair
on
and equal.
that one service, and like not it to be different, and like the good things are all missing from the UK one, and like yeah, what have you. But I suppose there are all these bloody laws and different, are ratings and systems in different countries, and like it's almost an impossible task, I suppose.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I
so
guess that makes sense.
hopefully at one point in the future we will just decide that something is over 18 and something is under 18.
That'll
but
never happen. The US are wimps.
yeah,
It's like in the UK, a 12 is a 15 over there,
yeah,
which is mad to me.
it's always annoying way like some ridiculous scene is censored from one version of the TV show where it's put in another one. But yeah.
Stupid.
Scalped. What do you think? Should it all be universal?
Yeah. It's like HBO Max, for instance. I know that's a very much a prominently American thing, but you can't get a subscription to it over here. And there's certain shows on HBO that I'd love to fucking watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like Daniel Sloss. He's done one of my favorite comedy shows that he's ever done. X. It's only on HBO Max, and I can't get HBO Max in the UK, so I can't watch it, and it's really annoying.
They're just $5.99 a month. You can get NordVPN, and you can.
Yeah, for $5.99 a month, you could get NordVPN, then get a subscription to HBO Max, and then watch it.
HBO Max.
But yeah, I don't know. It's one of those frustrating things that I've always found weird. I don't know if there's like maybe some rule, or maybe like, as you said, like different regions have different rating systems, so maybe certain films wouldn't be allowed in other places. But even in that circumstance, just make that specific film only available in that place. Maybe that's a lot of logistical work. I don't know. But yeah, it's very strange to me that they just don't, combine them all.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
you get more money that way, and
yeah, like YouTube is universal. Like you get everything everywhere. Obviously, unless something's been age gated or stopped and blocked in a region because of copyright crap. But yeah, it's like a universal thing. So why is that not a thing that like Netflix can do, or Prime? Like it's weird to me. I don't know. Because the weird thing is as well, if when you go online and you type something in like watch, I don't know, a show online, type show's name, and it comes up with like Amazon Prime, but only in America you can watch that specific thing. But I can see all the fucking things listed. I'm just not allowed to click play. It doesn't make sense.
And it's like they're in charge. Whoever's in charge of the pricing and stuff, it's like different in different places as well. Yeah. So I don't know what the logistics is behind it. There's probably a very excellent reason which we just don't know about.
No.
But it's probably just more about fattening the pockets of the regional directors and stuff like that, because they don't want to get. Because if it's like more popular in the US and like only a few people in the UK are watching it, then they're going to get more money from the UK from the US, and they don't want to give that share that money around. So it's a bit like Sony and crossplay, which apparently they don't like.
Yeah, which I don't understand why they don't like it, but
yeah,
I don't know.
They are integrating Discord at some point, which I can't
wait for that. It's going to be mention. I've got a funny feeling though that they're going to take away the PlayStation like communication system and just replace it with Discord.
Yeah.
Because honestly, Discord is easier to use and it is better as a system. I mean, I didn't use Discord for ages. Like Shaggy was nagging me to use it for so long. Shaggy is a friend of mine, and Sean's. And he was nagging me, and I was just like, I can't be bothered. I don't want to try. And the moment I've tried it and I've used it now, it's like, it's so much easier than anything else. Like Skype is great. Don't get me wrong; it's the OG, but Skype is going to be gone very soon, I reckon, because Discord has just taken over everything, which I don't agree with. I don't like monopolies. I don't think they should be a thing, but it happens. So
Yeah, I mean, I would have it. It's obviously more of a like PC gaming thing that it kind of came out of, I suppose.
it's more like a gamer's thing, yeah. I mean, like I play a lot of Call of Duty with Josh, and we use Discord to chat on, but we'll play it on the PlayStation, just because of convenience, you know.
Right.
Because he plays it off of his PlayStation as well, and so do I. But it's just convenience because you can have like a camera, so you can see each other as well if you want to chat like that. So I don't know. I think it's just a wider variety of options. It's like, no, I don't want you seeing my gaming face.
Yeah, I know. Just there.
I get really intense. Yeah, I think it's just nice to have the options and stuff. I think Discord's easier as well. You can have bigger like groups and communities, and it's a better placement. I don't know. There's a lot of pros and cons to both.
Whenever I start using it, I'm sure it'll be the go-to. But I've never had a reason to.
Yeah, I think as well. Obviously, on older machines and technology and stuff, it's not easy to get stuff like that to work on, and that's why Skype is much better in that sense because it can be used on anything. Yeah. So, I don't know.
It's done as well so far.
Yes. Skype has been the OG.
Yeah.
But yeah. And that's it. I don't have any more random things.
No, that is it for today, I think.
Wow. Well, what a bloody good show. I had a wonderful time. I actually did have a lovely time. I was looking forward to this all week. And for a small point, I genuinely didn't know if I was going to be able to do it because of how everything was moving around and stuff. So I'm glad we were able to do this. I miss doing these podcasts more often, but I think it works better as every 2 weeks.
Yeah, it definitely does.
So, yeah. I hope everyone enjoyed. Sean, did you enjoy yourself this week?
I definitely did enjoy myself. Thank you very much.
What was your favourite part about this podcast?
Probably the interesting things. Like, it always kind of sneaks up in there at the end. Like, oh, is this going to be a bit strange?
Spicy.
Spicy. But, it always ends up to be quite lots of progress in the discussion.
Yes.
So, yeah. What about you?
Yeah. I probably agree. I like the random things. They're always fun to get into because it can be absolutely anything, and then that goes off into something else, and it's just like a natural progression. It's kind of like how we tried to do the podcast.
Builds up to it as well.
Yeah, it's like how we tried to build like how we used to do the podcast when we first started was kind of like how we do the random things, just wherever it takes us, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I like having like a small structure and then just go nuts.
Yeah. Like that's our little thing now, having that little small structure, and we can cover everything. And we still like feed them into each other, but
fucking copyright it. But yes, thank you to everyone who has been watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed it and it's been fun and you have liked it. Again, thank you to all the support that we get with the podcast. It's always fun, always much appreciated. And yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Obviously, if you wanted to watch any of the clips that came out in the last week, they'll all be there. It's weird saying this now because we haven't even made this and finished this yet. So, but we'll see. It'll be an interesting one. So thank you everyone for whoever watched. God, English. Thank you to everyone who's watched. Wow. Yeah. Thank you to everyone who's watched. Always appreciated, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you in the next one.
Bye-bye.